I cannot hear you, Professor.
Can you hear me, Mario?
Now I can hear you.
Welcome, Yana. Okay, everybody hear me? Perfect. Sorry for delay. I'm in travel and I was struggling with the internet in Mexico, and everything was good until the last minute. Sorry. So my favorite students are always here, Mario and Yana. So let's go to new chapters. Let me say other students that I am here. Perfect. And yes, it's here. And some SMS for everybody. HRM. Perfect. Welcome, Wayne.
Hello.
Welcome. So let's go to chapter 12. And enable Um, what do you know? Let me start to share a screen here. It's about the variable pay and executive compensation. Do you know, is the old system for compensation is valuable just now or not? We should find some new ways to create motivation in our employees and co-workers as their leader, as their manager. How do you think? Is there anything should be changed as you think or not? We can repeat again the same methodological, old methodological systems. Also, many of them have gained from psychological approach in behaviorism. Behaviorism by J.B. Watson was created at first for training people, training especially children. You can see the story of Little Albert by J.B. Watson. It is a fantastic story about the real story about the training a child by behaviorism. I think it was 1920s. But after that, many people in organizations, especially managers, HR managers, and leaders wanted to use these approaches to behavior, how we can create behavior of people. It is something like how we shape the muscles of people. It's about, for example, some specific practice by muscles as a personal trainer with a personal trainer. But now we know that the mindset about job, especially in developed countries, in North Europe, in Central Europe, and some part of good states of United States, has been changed about the motivation to do something. So because of that, we know want and need some new approaches to create payment system for our employees. How do you think? What the new approaches do you think we can create? Maybe create, not only find, not only discover here. We can create some psychological motivation system for our employees. Do you think anything in your mind, Mario, Yana, Wayne? As the future leaders, as the future managers, how do you think about the new system for creating motivation in your employees, in your co-workers, maybe in your followers? Because I think after 5 years from now, digital marketing, not digital marketing, but uh, some unrealistic environment. For example, at the major scale, you can talk about internet. Is the real part of every human being all around the world, from business, for relationship, for friendship, for leadership, for management, for interpersonal relationship, maybe sometimes. So we want to know about the new approaches to create some persuasion in people, some motivation in people, some inspiration in people. How do you think? Is it true or not? Are you?
Mm, well, I'll depends. Like, there's always new ways to recruit people, and like,
Uh-huh.
there's innovative ways with it through the years. Like before, we didn't have, for example, LinkedIn, and
Uh-huh.
now it's like one of the
Perfect.
main tools.
Thanks for
So
example. Perfect. 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 Yeah. Thanks for example. It's very, very real and very accurate and up-to-date example. Thank you. It's very, very good example. Now recruiting is something different only from 10 years ago. Only from 10 years ago. Even after COVID, it's becoming increasing and increasing and increasing because everything went to the virtual world. Thank you. It's very, very good example. Yana, how do you think? What are the new system that you should create or find for creating the new generation of employees? The employees are not at the same employees, for example, for the last 20 years ago. Do you
I
believe
think,
this? Do you
sorry,
believe it or not? You think it is not true that the old system can work so good? Why not? How do you think about my hypothesis?
I think now the system is more about, not just about the payment, it's about how people can self-realize or yeah, I hope I said it, at the work. I don't think it's just about the money. I think
Perfect.
it's
What about self-realization,
yes.
self-actualization?
And maybe some people take this job, okay, this for experience, for example. It's not like, okay, I have this job and I'm gonna work there for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Especially here in California, I think the jobs are like very, like people moving from one job to another, to another, to another. The fluctuation is, I think, high here.
And you think the job, because now in executive coaching and also in life coaching, we say job is not satisfaction. Job is money. Now, what is the function of your job? Your function of your job is not your self-satisfaction, is creating money, earning money. But you are telling us that no, after 5 years from now, the job will be self-satisfaction, self-actualization. It's true?
Plus the money. I think sometimes people consider there is a little bit more money for the job, the salary, but you can get something else,
Yeah.
Maybe some people choose.
I love your attitude. It's very good. Very, very good and very progressive attitude, very modern attitude. Because we have always worked for a job until at least until the end of 19th century. After 200 years after industrial revolution, we worked and worked and worked. But some people didn't work only for money. Many people for invention, for creating something new, for using industry, for love of learning. It's very important. Love of learning is very important. If you create something like curiosity in yourself, as you know, science began with sense of curiosity. Only that, sense of curiosity. Science began with sense of curiosity, not for money, not for industry, not for even progression, even development, not only for sense of curiosity. What is the basic question of science? The basic question between who, how, why, where, when. Which is the basic question? Who, where, when, how, why. Which is the basic question for science?
How?
How, maybe. And Mario, you are laughing. What are you thinking about?
I think maybe all of them.
All of them, perfect. But which is the first one?
What? Why?
Maybe it is the sixth option. I never said about what. I said who, where, how, when, why. But you say what and when. How do you think? What was the first question of science? When is working something else? Are you multifunctional, Wayne? At the same time, many different functions?
No, I have two screens. So I have the PowerPoint on here and the camera is on this.
How do you think, what was the first question of science? Why,
I don't
how,
know.
when, where, what?
Yeah. What?
Why? I think also why. I think also. And you can read the book, The History of Science by Cambridge University published. I think it's from Cambridge University publication. It is the history of science. The first question of science is why? Tell me why. It's a great book for children. Tell me why. Everything. And after that, yes, perfect. After that, the basic question of industry, not science, was how. What is the difference between science and industry? Yana, what is the difference between science and industry?
I think.
Do you think engineers are scientists? Mario, do you think engineers are scientists?
I guess yes.
When
in my opinion, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for me, definitely like Elon Musk, for me, is scientist. He's not just engineer.
No, forgive Elon Musk. Elon Musk is something different. General population of engineers are scientists.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
You are agree?
Yeah, I agree that I believe the engineers are scientists.
What is the difference between industry, technology, and science?
What is the difference between, well, science is something that studies, right? And technology, it's an invention.
In what way? In what way? How? Because we said the basic question of science is why, the basic question of technology and industry is how. We have two types of science, basic sciences and applied sciences. What are the basic sciences?
Math, physics,
Perfect.
chemistry.
Math, physics, other things, Yana?
Biology.
What?
Biology.
Yeah, biology, chemistry. These are the four basic sciences. Also, honestly, many scientists in history of science doesn't consider math as a science. They say that math is the basic language of science. All types of science will talk in math. We'll talk with math. But generally, yes, math, physics, chemistry, and biology are the basic sciences. And when we are talking about the applied sciences, it means that we are using the concepts of basic sciences in real world, not science for science. Science for business, science for industry, science for humanity, science for society, and other types are not science for science, only love of learning. You can find and you want to find some application of science. Welcome, Adnan, to application of science. Because of that, it is called technology. How technique is mean how. But science is not like. Let's go back to the roots of our discussion. We were talking that the world is changing, and we are facing new areas, new fields of working, new fields of making money, new fields of industry, new field of business, especially new fields of marketing. Because how to find market is something different, for example, from only 5 years ago, not 1 century ago, only 5 years ago. And I ask you, how do you think about the future of new approaches to compensation and payments? Okay, welcome, Adnan. Okay, let's go to variable pay. Our learning objectives are define variable pay and identify three aspects of effective pay for performance plan. Compare three types of individual incentives. Identify key concerns that must be addressed when designing work unit team variable pay plans. Specify why profit sharing and employee stock ownership are popular organizational incentive plans, not individual plans. Explain two ways in which sales employees are typically compensated. I love it. Identify the typical elements of executive compensation and discuss criticism of executive compensation levels. If you want, very short answer, not long answers. If you want to describe for a child at the age of 12, what is compensation system? What is compensation payment? What is compensation in an organization? If you want to describe for a child at the early ages of teenaging, for example, 12, how can you describe in 2 or 3 sentences, not long sentences, he or she is only 12 years. He will distract from you as soon as possible. How do you think, how can you describe the expectation system for a child at the age of 12. Admin, you are the first one. You are muted. You are muted, Admin. Because everybody was in discussion, and now it's your time.
It's okay, okay. I just get in. Just give me a second. Let me look at it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be the second. Okay, I don't have.
Okay. Yana, how can you describe compensation system for a child at the age of 12?
But where, professor? Like at a school or like a home?
No, at the school. As you wish, not important. You see one person in a party at the age of 12, and he'd ask you, Yana, sorry, what's your job? You say, I'm in HR management. Say, well, in my book has written, there are some compensation system, but I don't know what's the meaning of compensation system in an organization. And please describe me in my mind ability, only in 2 or 3 simple sentences about what is compensation system in our organization.
So compensation system is when you praise someone. It can be financial, it can be by word, or it can be by, how you say, when you give them higher level of the job.
Sorry,
I would expect.
Sorry, I am only 12 years and I cannot understand your very, very professional work. Would you please say me, my teacher said me about incentives. I know what is incentive. Why you use as a manager the vocabulary something like compensation? Why do you didn't say about the incentive plans? What is the difference between incentive and compensation? Also, you are not alone. Mario, Wayne, and Adnan can help you. Okay, Mario, you are laughing so good. So it's your turn to answer.
Mario, answer.
No,
I'm gonna take the Mario. I just look at it. You
wanna
go for it, Mario?
You were looking on it in internet. Huh?
Mario, you wanna go for it? Or I go? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take it. So this is like a compensation system that is not involved money. There is no money.
In compensation?
Yeah. There is no money.
Okay.
I think there is money.
There is money? No, I look at it. There is no money. Come on.
In compensation.
Okay.
But it's not.
What are you compensating?
It's like it says this is not direct money, but it's like have financial, yes, but it's not direct.
Financial profits, but not monetary profits.
Yeah, not monetary, exactly. But it's not direct.
Sorry, sir, you are my teacher. Is it the same incentive or not?
Incentive is like something that's they call it in the companies. This is my definition. So it's like every 3 months or every quarters, like they look to your target. So they give you like, oh, you did this target, okay, you give you. And this is rewards. This is cool. It's like they boost your system to work more because you have like targets to hit.
Because in the power
rewards for yourself.
Because I saw a video in YouTube that Dr. Taqabi was teaching you and your other classmates about the incentives and compensation, but I'm only at the age of 12. I don't understand why he used for incentive plans, but he said about compensation levels. Why he used it plans for incentive and levels for compensation? Do you know, is it true or not? He was talking, I know it doesn't make sense. Also, I'm so sorry to work with your brain, but your other classmates are at your service, like Mario, my lovely students, and Yana, my very, very smart European students, and my always silent student, while looking at everything like Wayne. Other people can help you about what is the difference between incentive plans and compensation levels. Why your teacher used for incentive plans, but for compensation levels. What does it mean? Because
the
they said to me you are MBA student, and maybe after 1 or 2 years You will be DBA student, and after 2 or 4 years, you will be their faculty. I am right, Adnan, Mario, and Yana? You maybe are faculty
Yes.
after 4
Yes,
years from now?
yes.
Oh, I wish. Why not?
I think the compensation is like motivation. You give something to motivate them work or working more.
Yeah, so compensation, I would say, is like the given wage, no matter how well or how bad you do. It's something that you'll always get. And incentive is a bonus that you get if you do well, whether it's the company that does well or you yourself perform well, and it will be added to your compensation, but it's not always given. It's based on the conditions that you have to meet.
So, sorry, sir, do you think that compensation will not create any motivation? Because if you work good or not good, you will have some compensation levels. It is not important to your function in your organization. Can I understand it correct or not?
That depends on how you children of 12 years old
Sorry,
value your time.
Sorry, sir, I am only 12 years.
That's how you children of 12 years old value your time. The compensation is time. The time you put, the better you do that time, the better you're gonna get your compensation.
Perfect.
And that's it. Compensation is that motivation. Incentives is an extra boost on how well are you willing to work in that time. It's more into the performance base.
Sorry, sir, one of your classmates, so-called Adnan, said that compensation doesn't have any financial side. Is it true or not? Adnan said to us that compensation doesn't have any financial. Doesn't have any monetary, not financial. It is not about money. You are agree with Adnan, Mario, or not? Not Adnan. Let Mario answer. Adnan says compensation doesn't have any monetary payment. He said yes, it has some financial benefit, but not about direct payment. Okay, Adnan, you said it. It is not about direct payment compensation.
Yes, but it's like if you want to break it down for Mario and for everyone.
Yeah.
I think the example is healthcare, like in healthcare or vacation payment.
Benefits.
Some examples. It's not direct money, but have value financial.
Yeah, but
that's it's different than the incentive. Incentive that you get the money direct in your bank account. That's
because
what I
my
feel
father,
like.
when I was 10, I was sick.
I'm learning like you guys.
Yeah, because 2 years ago, when I was only 10 years old, I was sick, and my father said, "Don't worry, my health insurance, our health insurance is very good from our organization." So it was the compensation for my father, not incentive. Healthcare insurance. Okay. And Yana, what about you? How do you think about describing the differences between, in addition to the data that Mr. Mario and Mr. Adnan taught me just in the last 10 minutes? I was very clear now. I'm thinking very clear about compensation and incentive. Do you want to add anything?
I just think the healthcare is also money and benefits are money, because when the employer give you any benefits, you don't have to pay from your own pocket. I don't know if you go to dentist, there is like dentist insurance, you don't have to pay like 2,000 for a tooth. So it's still kind of financial. However, it's like benefits or something plus, but it's still financial.
But it is
whatever. It's like
it is not direct payment. Adnan says compensation systems are not direct payment. Said it is about payment, about money, but not direct, indirect. For example, organization will pay instead of you to the, for example, an insurance company. Okay.
Yeah, it's a transaction. They can always give you a share of their company, like not
Thank
money,
Would you say me another compensation in addition to healthcare? Would you say me 2 or 3 other compensations in an organization?
Life insurance?
The next, what, Mario?
Life insurance?
No, except of anything related to insurance. Other things? No.
So vacation days?
Vacation days. Oh, thank you. With or without tour or not, only vacation days. Only the amount of days is compensation? No. my company can provide me. Like me now, I'm in Mexico, I'm teaching you. And because of that, I was a little about 10 minutes late, sorry. And for example, if the calendar you give me a ticket for me and my family go to Mexico and have a good time, is it only or no? Only, doctor, you have, for example, 5 days of vacation. Mario?
For example, I know banks that pay for the courses of their like new bank tellers, you know, to become like higher in the rank. So I think like that payment of education, like that transaction, like the knowledge and the skills for this, it's a benefit where both like get, and
So
it's
for
not.
example, you think continuous education for employees is some
Yeah,
part of compensation because
yeah,
hiring, making higher their level of education and level of competencies. Perfect. I have the 2 days of vacation from Wayne and education system from you. Another thing, Adnan and Yana, health insurance, all insurance,
I
Stock
think
options,
childcare
childcare,
Meal.
stocks.
and
or
Adnan.
retirement savings.
Yes, perfect. Retirement is very important. Adnan,
Meal or meal
yeah,
housing allowance
yeah.
also. It's like, by the way,
Especially,
Ramadan Kareem.
especially in the countries or in the regions or in the states that which are not so rich. Yes, giving some uh, nuts, giving some meats, some meals sometimes for cooking at home. It's very important. Thank you. Now I am your teacher, not again 12 years ago. I am 50 years ago, and at your service as your teacher. And I am very happy to have some students. Honestly, you are students. You are smart students. Honestly, you are not students. Something more than students. I know Adnan and Yana very new, but Wayne, I think it is the third or second semester. Wayne is very hard worker, very smart, and I love his talking, his thinking. Very good combination. And now I can see other students like Adam, Yana, and also Mario. Okay, I think the major part of course was ended, but we go about the payments. Variable pay compensation that is tied to performance. I have a basic question. What is the difference between performance and function? I know I have asked you in the previous sessions. Because of that, I'm checking your studying, not about your studying your book, about the sessions, because it is not about your book. What is the difference between performance and function? So let's start with the definition. What is performance? Adam,
Doctor,
what
I
is
like to go
performance?
with my definitions all the time, you know. It's like I'm not
Okay,
going with the box. So function, that's you able to do thing. One function thing is like you able to do one task. This is that's function. But for me as a performance, is a speed, accurate, uh, speed and accurate. I think this is like is high performance. It's like you do the things fast and you done the job fast and you always you get it 100% done. It's like
which is more observable? Which is more observable? Which is more objective? Performance or function?
function.
function.
So
Performance.
let me ask you a new question. Your heart has function or performance?
Both.
No. When
No
you say
function.
doctor said, Mario, what are you doing with your heart?
It's
Please reduce it.
performance.
It says your heart performance is damaging or your heart functioning is damaging. Which
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
function or performance?
I think the performance of the heart, it's what it's making it bad. I mean, I don't
Dancing
know.
is a dancing is a performance or a function.
Dancing.
I don't know, because you take it to dance. I'd say in an industry, between an industry, I say function is the capability of doing that. Because when you enter to a fabric, for example, you see this person assembling some boxes, you know that he's doing a function, but you don't know the performance. How good is he doing it? So I think function is more observable because of that. I might be wrong, but that's my
Perfect.
impression.
Also perfect, but in medical, it is not like that you are talking. Generally, what you can see and measure, observe and measure directly, without any gun, any instrument, anything. Directly, very simple. Generally, what you can see, observe, and measure, it is your performance. Because, for example, in music, they say art performance. They didn't say art functioning. They say art performance. You can see Mario at the stage with a beautiful playing guitar, and they say, we are proud of Mario playing guitar. It is Mario performance. But your heart is heart functioning. Heart is something which is doing and doing and doing, but you cannot observe it directly. Adnan?
So what I get it now is like performance is might be big up, big down, but as a function is just linear. It's like just it is like
No, no, no,
something.
no. No, no. For example, if you start to have a good diet and, for example, daily exercise and other things, no, your function will going up and increase and improve and improve and improve. Yes, functioning always in all systems, including your organization, future organization, every function has a baseline, The baseline is the least acceptable, is the standard. The standard is the least acceptable. Other standard items, they are not acceptable. So, no, you can improve your functioning. You have 4 major areas of functioning in life. Do you know? 4 major areas of functioning. 1, educational functioning. 2,
Health.
health is not your areas of functioning. Health is a major. You can consider health. It is educational functioning,
Finance.
occupational functioning about your job, social functioning, and interpersonal functioning. When you come with me, to me, and say, doctor, please assess me about my functioning in life. I, as Mario, want to be at the highest level of my performance. I want to be a high performance coach. You can search this phrase in your internet. High performance coaching. It is very important. At first, high performance coaching was from sport, yes, but after that, entering especially in the organizations, we have some types of coaching about high performance coaching. And it's very money maker, very, very money maker. You can help people to have the best version of themselves, not for your organization, based on their strengths, based on their interests, based on their views, based on their dreams and everything. High performance coaching. Okay. So performance evaluated at individual, group, or organizational level. People work harder, it pays high to performance. So one of the good, welcome, Henry. So if you work harder, you will have more money, more payment, and beneficial for both employers and employees. We are talking about all these parts of incentive and compensation system. Employers, more output per employee, lower fixed cost, some risk shifted to employee. It's very important. Now, sometimes when you say to your employees that you can be our entrepreneur, your employee can be your entrepreneur, can be your partner after some years, you shift some parts of your organizational risk to your employee. If they can handle the risk of organization and they can have some good performance in your organization, the more they can have some compensation level, some incentive and other things. So more responsibility, more money, more responsibility, more vacation, more responsibility, more payment and other things. Not about only more working, about accepting the accountability of your what you are doing. Because of that, the book said that some managers love to switch some part of their risk of organization to their employees. It creates some types of belongingness. They said, yes, I am responsible. I'm accountable. I should respond about the problems of this, for example, duty that they have come to me. Employees, more pay and other things. Okay, basic assumptions. Incentive for performance. Some people or groups contribute more to organizational success than do others. What is the difference? Why? Why some people are more with more motivation? Why? It's a basic question. Very, very. You can see different children, different boys and girls, different siblings in a family, only one family, with a minimum the distance of age. But you can see different personality, different persuasion of happiness, different persuasion of motivation, and other things.
It's about mindset.
Okay, what is the creator of mindset? Why people have different mindset about the same topics, the single topics, even in one family, not in two countries, in one family. One of them is so lazy and doesn't think about anything and said, oh, it is laissez-faire, it is what it is, I am who I am, and no, I don't want to create any change. Another one you feel, no, I don't accept any destiny. I should. And sometimes I have to create my destiny. My job is my destiny creating my job. And going forward and fighting and warring and more happiness, more difficulties, more challenges. And at the time, you see the second one is more powerful, also without a lot of mental wounding, I know. In the same family with different, for example.
So this is the same family. I think that it is about the IQ. It's about that same family or the genetic. It's like if you want to make it in the same family, but this is I'm gonna call it. It's like about it's genetic because it's same family, same condition, same background, same mom and dad, same everything.
Also same genes.
Most I don't know. It's something there. Something there is. No. There is something. They have same genes, but I don't know what they call that differentiation between how this boy is like asking for more doing and this girl is like more lazy or whatever. Okay, is something. It's good. It's good question, but what I don't know. It's IQ. I think that's the thing.
It's a basic question of psychology. So it's called in the study of individual differences. Yana, how do you think about it? Why in a single family, different children, different siblings, different boys and girls, in one family, for example, during 10 years, only 10 years, the first child is now 30 years old, the last child and the fourth child or third child is, for example, 20 years old. But you see very, very different approach to life, basically. Why?
I think it's a genetic, and then I think it's a cognitive thinking. I think it's the learning. Also, when the child, there is like 10 years difference between the siblings, the system of the teaching is different. For example, that one.
Henry, have you married?
Yes.
Have you children?
Yeah, just one.
Or just how old is?
She's 4 years.
Okay. As a father, you have many dreams for your daughter.
Okay.
As a father. I don't know about you, but I think about myself that I didn't become exactly the same what my parents wanted. I'm something different. Okay, I am good. Why not? But something different. My father talked about, for example, to be a surgery and only living in my own country and my homeland, and I get it free from my country, not so easily, but not so hard. And I never became a surgeon. I became a psychologist and other parts also, not only about the occupational or educational, in the interpersonal, in the love partnership and other parts. What are the most important? Because of that, I asked Henry, that is Henry thinking that he and his wife are the major source of education, source of training or not? If yes, why their children will not just the same as they want? If no, what are other sources of training and education? Why I am asking such a question in a class of business or administration or management or marketing? Because your organization, the form of the organization, the form of the impacting factors in an organization is something like your family. What are the source of training, sort of impacting, source of education in one family, in a larger scale, in an organization? Admin?
So there is something, it's called ability to learn. So this is the effect. So sometimes, okay, I'm gonna give a small example. You have two kids, you have wife, okay. One of the kids, he able to learn. If you put time with him, he gonna go higher. And another kid, he's struggling to get catch things up. But this is not new. And not in the kid. It's like it's out of the control of the kids as well. It's like something. It's mindset. It's psychological thing. It's genetic things. I don't know. I wanna call it for something, but it's like I cannot put it so, under
And
some.
what are the other sources of organization? Harry, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the peer too, and the like when I was growing up, I was born into uh, a poor home, and then where I grew up like in like a slum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where you have different kind of people, right? But because of the kind of parents I have, I was able to. They were able to, educate me,
Yeah.
in the little way they can, and
Yeah.
then I okay from my after my high school, right? I started educating myself because that was where they could educate me up to. So I was working here and there just to make sure I was able to educate myself for that. So it boils down on the kind of environment,
Perfect.
where
Great.
where they are raised up, and then the peer group as well, the kind of friends they have.
Perfect. Perfect.
So and I promised myself I would give my daughter the best I can. So yeah, the bottom line is just the like Adnan said, mindset, and then you have to push on, just to make
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
you have this education, you have everything, to succeed in life.
Thank you. You have used some keywords. One of the major keywords in your growing is your peer group, especially in adolescence and teenaging.
Yeah.
Just now, I have a client that he think is 40 years, 14 years in the high school. Yes, first year grade of high school. He thinks that he's gay. Only 40 years.
He thinks what?
Yeah, in the first year of high school, he thinks that he's gay. And I talked to him and I have a professional interview with him. And finally, I found that no, it's a peer pressure. Peer pressure is the pressure from your peer group on you for using alcohol, for smoking, some for sexual behaviors, sometimes for going out of your home. But this is only peer pressure. After ending the adolescence, you will find yourself again if you didn't accept any harsh, any serious problem from your peer group. So, as the parents, you are not the only source of training. As the managers, you are not the only source of training for your organization. Because of that, you should think about the environment of your organization, and something like compensation system and incentive systems can create some belongingness to your organization that gradually you find, for example, as a manager, you will find that what are doing and what are happening in your organization in the hidden layers, not in the observable layers, because every organization, also every family, have some hidden layers. The hidden layers are more important than the apparent layers. Why? The apparent layers are apparent. You can observe them. If you have some problem, you can solve the problem or delete the problem or tolerate the problem. Why not? But the first choice is solving the problems. Before solution problem solution, you should probably have problem definition. What is your problem exactly? It's the process of problem solving also. It is not the case of this session. But when you have some good and heartful employees in your organization, you can count on their heart, on their possession, on the sense of belongingness. This is the most important, the sense of fidelity to your organization. Because every organization, especially in the last 10 years, one of the greatest problems that payment system, compensation system, incentive system are all about reducing only one thing, turnover, and increasing only one thing, loyalty to your organization. Because of that, you have compensation system, you have incentive levels, you have, for example, someone like me come to your organization to create some motivational plan for everybody, not only for one person or one group or one department or one team, for all levels of your organization. Because of that, it is something like your family. It is surprised. I was surprised that when I think it is about 4 or 5 years ago, I read an article. I studied an article that it said every manager, every manager, every leader, especially every manager, bring his familiar character to his organization. Even you are hired, even it is not your business, it is not your own business. You are hired as a manager. You will bring your personal family system thinking. You will put your literacy, you will put your knowledge, you will put your MBA and DBA knowledge in the frame of your personality, which is formed by your family. Because of that, if you want to find a good manager for your organization, also, I don't know, it is possible practically or not. But in practice, if you want to find a good manager for your organization, at first you should know what type of father do you want to hire. It is not important to hire a manager. It is important to hire a father. Because if Dr. Guyabadi will talk about it with you in the at the more advanced level. I don't know what is the name of the course doctor is teaching, but there is sometimes that if you are working with me, I should know, like a coach, I should know about the bank saving, I should know about the personal issues. Why? Because if, for example, Mario have some problems out of the organization, yes, I know as a manager that Mario's problem is Mario's problem. But after waking up in the morning, when Mario is not so fresh and a little nervous, under pressure, under love pressure, and come to organization, And I think my favorite manager is not at the good and favorite functioning. And I said, Mario, do you have any problem with my organization? Do you want to increase your payment? And Mario said, no, doctor, it's not related to you. I think, yes, I know it's not related to me. But we are working together for one share meaning and share goal, which is called organizational. Because of that, during the next 10 years, maybe sooner, some, why not? Maybe next 5 years, your generation, it is about your generation. It's not about my generation. It's about the new managers, new leaders. You should know and you should gather information about every aspect of your, at least the most important employers, the most important mid-level organization. Is there anybody here to experience personal trainer, for example, for a sport competition? Do you have any experience in this field? That you had a personal trainer, a personal coach for competition, for championship in a professional. The professional coach even ask you about sexual behaviors, even ask you about your time of sleep, very in details, and monitored and supervised. Why? Because they said, for example, if you have after 2 days a very important soccer game, and before, for example, from 1 week before that, they will check your sexual behavior because of your energy. It's a personal. The coach says, sorry, there is no personal. You are my soccer player in my team. There is no personal such such thing in our team. It's a teamwork. Is there anybody here to be a team builder, professional team builder in the future or no? Do you know it is a professional job, team building? Do you know anything about the function of team building? Have you heard about it? Okay, I will ask Dr. Yeah, Adnan.
It's team building is fine. You know, it's like always the professional people have some attitude and hard to bring them together. This is the
Mhm.
most hard thing to do, team building. It's really hard.
Yes, but it's a science.
It's a science, but it's
It's
hard.
a science. Have you heard about the science of team building?
No, it's like, but it's like you can know what exactly behind. It's like
Okay,
it
I
can't
will
tell,
ask.
can't tell.
I will ask Dr. Guyabadi will have a lecture in the Transformation Center of Excellence with the concepts of principles of team building. Principles. It's very useful. It can make your mindset about your managerial approach, your mindset, which is the most important part of every human action. Every human action. Every human action has two parts, two main parts. One, mindset, two, motivation. Other things are added to mindset and motivation. Everything. Direction and power. Power is including your motivation, direction is your mindset. Okay? Some people perform better than are more productive than others as organizational success. And employees or groups who perform better or contribute more should receive greater compensation. Okay. We see this a variety of possible incentives here. Issuing commissions and profit sharing, the spot bonus and service awards and trips and meaningful work. Also, it's very fantastic. You see here, meaningful work is considered as an incentive. Meaningful work. It's very important. It's just like the real life. You are experiencing a lot of pain, a lot of hardness, a lot of difficulties in your life. Do you know between the males, not females, do you know between the males, the longevity, the final age of married males are higher than single males, single men? Do you know why? When you are married, you should work harder, more reducing of your sleep time and more fatigue, loss of energy. Why married people, especially married males, married men, live longer than single men? Why? Because of meaning of life. They know why they are experiencing a lot of pain, but other people doesn't know anything about it. The answer is one thing, only one thing. Adnan?
What I know, doctor, is like the married males is like more they have short life.
Shorter life? Yes, 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 yes. After labor between the infants, the rate of mortality, the rate of dead children, dead infants, dead newborn after 4 weeks. The newborn only for the first 4 weeks of your life is called newborn. After 4 weeks until the age of 2 and end of the age of 2, you are called infants. After that, between 2 and 12, you are called children or child. For the first 4 weeks, the rate of mortality between the boys is twice of girls, twice. Only in the first 4 weeks of your life. Because of that, also, it is not so ethical and not so socially acceptable. But having many different wives in many tribes, in many cultures, one of them is that because of reducing the number of males, and also in the long term, yes, the age of men is shorter than age of women. But between men, the age of the longevity of married people are longer than unmarried and single people. Okay, effective variable pay. Reasons for variable pay plans, link strategy goals and employee performance. It is again a very, very vital word, strategic goals. Enhance result and reward employee financially, reward and recognize employee performance, promote achievement of HR objective and reduce fixed costs. Effective, it is not so important, combating variable pay and fit the plan to the organization. It's operational, you know anything about. Variable pay effectiveness to part current updated talent plan and results in desired behaviors. And after that, we have 4 parts. From left to right, clearly separate from base pay or base payment, clearly communicated. Performance results are clearly linked to payouts and clear differentiation based on performance level, and sufficient financial resources we need, consistent with organizational culture, not organizational goals only, measurable performance, plans clear and understandable, and linked to organization object. Okay, effective plan. Okay, let's go for 15 minutes. Let's go for 15 minutes break, and just at, okay, 7, again meet here, okay? And we will be waiting for, I think we have a good presentation from Henry today, if Henry is ready. hocam mersi. زخم چجوری بود؟ نمی‌زنی. اصلا نمی‌زنی. نمی‌زنی که بیاری دیگه. اینو گذاشتم رو پایین کردم. بابا مرسی. لازم نبود آقا جون. مرسی دست نمی‌کنه عزیزم. Okay, let's go to a little newer. In addition to compensation and other parts, we have a newer chapter, which is very good for everybody. And I want to talk about it just now. Harry, do you have any presentation tonight? Harry, do you have any presentation tonight?
Yes.
About Elon Musk?
Yes.
Perfect. I love it. Okay. Is it 15 minutes enough or more?
Well,
15 minutes is enough or more?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, do you think 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 10 minutes? How many minutes do you think?
It depends on the the idea. So once I lost ideas, okay. That's it.
We will start it at about 7:30, and after that, about 15 minutes. You have time for 15 minutes.
Did you say 7:30?
7:30.
Okay.
Now is 7:07. 7:30. Okay, what is risk management? At first, a basic question, what is risk? Yana, what is risk? What's the difference between risk, danger, and hazard? What is risk? And threat? Threat, risk, danger, and hazard. What is risk that you should manage? There is no such thing as danger management, as threat management, as hazard management. You don't think that yes, we should manage our hazard or dangers or threat, but you should, yes, we should manage our risk. What is the risk?
I think risk is something unexpected. You don't know if it's good or bad because you kind of don't know if it's gonna be good or bad at the end.
I have a question. As a very, very successful woman in business, when you want to manage your risk, is it unexpected? Unexpected is something like crisis, not risk. For every type of business, Mario should have a risk management and risk business plan. Henry should do some risk studies, not unexpected. Why? If it is unexpected, you can call it crisis, not risk. So the next question is, if you think it is unexpected, the next question is, what is the difference between risk and crisis? Henry, what is risk in management, in organization?
Well, risk is, it's the possibility of danger.
The possibility of danger.
Involves like an uncertainty. About is an uncertainty about the effects and implications of an activity.
Let me check it with a phrase. In the sciences related to industrial engineering,
I think it's exposure to danger.
Yeah. in the science of related to engineering economy, game theory, there's a phrase titled with risk study. What does it mean, risk study? Also, it's a mathematical model, not a managerial model. We can find and we can use the outcomes of this mathematical model in all aspects of management, organization, family, society, community, and other parts and other types of management. Yes, I know. We can use risk study and risk management in all aspects of your life. But now it is basically based on a mathematical theory, so-called game theory. In this approach, in this aspect to risk, what is risk? And why we call it risk management or risk study. Wayne, do you have any idea about the conceptual definition of risk and what is risk management and why we should study the risk and how can we study? Also, we will talk about how can we study.
Again, doctor, again. Can you repeat the question, please?
What I asked Wayne about the risk and risk study. It's a mathematical model. What does it mean, risk study or risk management? I asked at first from Wayne. Wayne?
I don't know. I mean, it's inevitable that there is a risk. So it is best to either be prepared for it or even calculate it ahead of time to minimize the loss.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Minimizing the cost, minimizing the loss, and increasing the possibility of success, but not in conceptual, in an operational definition. Because of operation, we use mathematics. Mathematics give you some aspects for doing something in a best version with the maximum efficiency, minimizing the cost and maximizing the benefits, the outputs. So let's go that one what we can find in PowerPoint. It's not important, objective, risk management. Let me do it here. Okay. Risk management involves the responsibility to consider physical, human, and financial factors that protect organizational and individual interests. So you see, as a manager, it is not about mathematics. It is about your accountability. It is about your responsibility to protect from the factors those factors can protect your organization, your benefits, your profits, and other things. And concerns are preventing accident and health problems at work. So one of the risk factors, these are called risk factors. Honestly, in risk study and risk management, you are managing and studying the risk factors. The factors can create as a risk, they are called risk factors. Planning for terrorism attack, for example, protecting against workplace violence. Violence is very important. Ensuring HR data are secure. Data security is very, very important. You can find, and also not mandatory, but also I highly recommend it to every manager to pass and pass a course of data security, not as an engineer, as a manager, to know the atmosphere, the total concept of data security is very good. And anticipating global disease outbreaks and preparing for natural disasters, for example. And you see in 3 parts of health, safety, and security. General state of physical, mental, and emotional well-being, and safety control people. Physically well-being is protected. It's called safety. And protection of employees and organization facility from forces that may harm them. It is the different approaches to risk management, from health, from safety, and from security. The physical part is about safety. It's about the harming issues. It is about security. major legal concern about safety and health regulation. What are the major legal concerns? It is very important to know them as a manager. Why? Because as a manager, you should know it, and you should know that uh, if you go to court, if you have some legal problems, not it is too hard, but it is a little hard to manage their legal problems for organization. Highly recommended not to planning, not to encounter, not to facing with the legal problems. But okay, it is not avoidable. You will come face with, you will encounter with the legal problems, you will face the legal problems and legal concern, and you cannot avoid it. Because of that, workers' compensation legislation. Two, Americans with Disabilities Act, should also we use it in for our students in Kalamazoo. Child labor laws, not not very new, but not ordinary in the developed countries. Civil rights, non-discrimination provisions, collective bargaining laws, and that's it. It is the legal problems, major legal concern in safety and health regulation. Also, I don't know, do you want to work as an HR manager in the future or not? These are the basic things that everybody knows about HR management. Everybody knows. If you go, for example, to hospital and ask general nurses that what are the duties, what are the functions, what are the responsibilities of an HR manager? We'll talk after hiring process and something like that. After that, they will talk about these problems. So these are in front line of HR manager. Front line, not so deep, but the front line, the line that everybody knows that yes, he or she's an HR manager, and for example, is caring about the Child Labor Act in America and other countries. After hiring process, after improving their work quality and other things, legal problems in the third or fourth duty of all types of HR managers. Very apparent, everybody knows about it, but you have learned many things during the previous sessions, previous lessons, previous chapters about HR management. Employers purchase insurance to compensate employees for injuries received while on the job. While on the job. Require payment be made to an employer for time away from work because of an injury. Payments to cover medical bills. Because of that, when we were talking about compensation, the first thing Adnan and Mario talked about it was about insurances, all types of insurance. For example, Mario after that said, yes, you can consider, for example, life insurance, health insurance, and Adnan also. The first thing my students associate to them was about health problems. Why? Because to be healthy and health is the basic needs of all human beings. If you are not healthy, it's not important that you are a doctor, you are a manager, you are a businessman or businesswoman. Honestly, it is not important. Everybody doesn't know anything about it, can go and go working hard and hard and hard and eating junky foods. And after 3 years or 4 years, he or she will understand what I am talking about. Health is the basic wealth. Health is the basic wealth. If you don't have health, sorry, forget anything else about wealth. All the or even new business strategies. Have you studied a book of Andrew Robbins, so-called Unshakable? Have you studied these books? Unshakable. Unshakable, I think it is 2018 or 2019, the last book of Anthony Robbins, Unshakable. It is about these concepts, the difference between money and wealth. the important role and the important stage and state of health in definition of wealth, which is unshakable. And retraining of a new job is required as a result of an incident. You can see medical care, replacement income, retraining costs, and survivor benefits. Also, I became so happy when I heard from Mario that said, yes, earn a payment for education can be a compensation. Why not? Because company, my educational level is becoming higher and higher and higher. I will be more professional after 10 years, for example, for 10 years working for Hyundai, for example, or Toyota or General Motors. ADA, American with Disability Access, also for everybody, not only for the workers. Also, you know that we use it and we work on it in CalMU for our ADA students. Employers try to return injured workers to work to reduce workers' compensation cost. It's very important. It should be fair. It should be fair. Because of that, many insurance have come to the field and talk about the, yes, don't worry about the lifelong injuries. We'll protect your employees. When making accommodation for injured employees through restricted duty work, essential job functions are undercut. And HR professionals understand ADA guidelines as they affect physical disability. What about the mental disability? What type of mental disability do you know in a that can be a hard or work-related injury? Any type?
It can be schizophrenic.
Schizophrenic or psychophrenic injured related to job.
Oh, sorry.
I want to know about the mental problems that creates because of your job.
Oh, it can be maybe anxiety.
Yeah,
From the
anxiety, stress.
Right? What type of jobs can produce anxiety?
Can reduce anxiety.
No, produce, creating,
Every kind
increasing.
of job, that it has overwork.
Which are more dominant? Very, very brilliant job that, yes. One of them is my previous job as a nurse. I was 10 years a psychiatric nurse, not general nurse, psychiatric nurse. For 10 years at the night shift, I worked with the people with psychiatric problems. It was highly producing anxiety. Adam, do you want to say anything?
No, I was gonna throw joke.
Other jobs, one of them, for example, nursing. Other jobs that create
like
any type of mental problem.
Student MBA student.
Yes. Especially with this teacher, yes, it will be very highly.
I'm just kidding, doctor.
I am so happy that my students are so relaxed. Except of that, it was a carrot session. It was a carrot session, not a session with it. Okay, other things. Job.
CEO positions. CEO positions.
I think the job that's affect life. So the using guns or whatever, like cops, they have engaged some fighting by guns. This is like threatening life, and he might go out. He never come back. It's like this is something that's is stress. Plus the people that's the all the time they're driving in the streets and the so
all
military
jobs, all the military jobs, like police, like navies, like soldiers, even with high payment. It's not about the payment. We are talking about the anxiety related to job. Only and other jobs, for example, firefighters. very, very highly anxiety. It is interesting that some jobs like firefighter not only produce job for the person, more of that produce for the family members. Because many firefighters have trained how to protect themselves. But his or her daughter, his or her mother, his or her wife or husband, and other family members are always under pressure that dad or mom goes out from the home and never get back because of the job. Because of that, if you work in some countries, if you work 20 years as a firefighter, they will retire you as a person with 30 years, 10 years, less 10 years, only for hardiness of the job. Nursing, mining, mining workers, all the military jobs, all the night shift jobs, not only military or nurses, other night shift jobs, even when you are security at the night. Not daily security is not so with a higher anxiety. But night shift, all the night shifts are very creating high range of anxiety. Other, except of anxiety, other mental disorders, mental problems that can be related to your job. One of
Another
them is
type of
anxiety. One of them is
what was the question? Another type of
other
job
type
or
of
another?
mental disorders. One of them is anxiety. You said yes. One mental disorder that can be created by the job is anxiety. I ask
PT,
what type of jobs can other problems of mental problems.
PTS,
What?
PTS, post-traumatic stress.
PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, yes. But post-traumatic stress, honestly, is not about your job. It is about treating. We have treatments of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Depression,
War-related, soldiers, rape-related, and disaster. It is not about job. Other things?
depression,
Yes. Prediction, a World Health Organization shows that, predictions, a World Health Organization shows that at the beginning of fourth decade of 21st century, 2030, from now on only 10 years, after cancer, after cancer, depression is the second cause of death, not second rate of disorder, second cause of death only after 10 years. Also, the prediction was at the time of before COVID. I don't know about after COVID. Anxiety, depression, fatigue, sex problems, sleep problems, many works create sex problems, many works with the high anxiety, works with the nightly working, all of them create some differences, some difficulty in the sex regulation of a healthy man or woman. These are the mental problems are related to job. And it becomes difficult when mental illness is at issue. I talk about it because I want to come to this sentence. HR professionals understand ADA guidelines as they affect physical disability. You can see, observe physical disability, but you cannot see or observe mental disability. You cannot see or observe my depression, my anxiety, my sleep disorders, my eating disorders, my personality disorders, my substance abuse disorders. We have more than 300 mental disorders, more than 300 personal mental disorders in near between 16 or 17 categorization. From your childhood, for example, we have separation anxiety disorder for childhood or postpartum depression for pregnancy. And for example, sexual dysfunction or sexual paraphilia. or eating disorder, many, many, many mental disorder. We have more than 300 mental disorders in 16 or 17 categorization. But it is very hard for a HR professional to find the mental problems related to jobs. Okay, I don't want to miss Henry, beautiful and good. Henry, we are ready to hear from you. Are you ready to talk to us or not? Do you want to be at the back of the curtain and you don't want to talk to us? I think Henry is not here. Okay, perfect. There is no presentation. I will, okay, Henry, welcome. And again,
I had to use the restroom.
Henry, do you have any PowerPoint?
No. Do I have to create one?
Okay, okay. We are here. Do you need any sharing or not? Video or other things?
No.
Okay, we are here and so fantastic
Is
to
that
hear from
necessary?
you. We are now here to hear from you about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Okay. My name is Henry. My full names are Henry Wusu, and I'll be doing a presentation about Elon Musk. I call him the alpha leader because I mean he's changing the world. You know, whether I would like it or not, he's changing the world. So I'm going to dive into a little bit about his background, um, who he is, and how he started and his success journey. So Elon Musk was born on June 28th, 1971, actually 48 years now. His full names are Elon Reeve Musk. He was born in South Africa, city of Pretoria. So and then he was married to Justin Wilson in 2000, divorced in 2008, married to Tallulah Riley he actually married Tallulah Riley twice. Yeah, the first time he married Tallulah Riley was in 2010, divorced in 2012, and then married her again in 2013, divorced 2016. They actually had 6 children, 7 actually, 1 died, and then his parents' names were Aaron Musk, that's the father, and then Maye Musk, that's the mother. So Elon Musk grew up in South Africa, then migrated to.
Sorry, I didn't understand. What was her basic nationality, origins? From German?
Yeah, South Africa, from Pretoria, city of Pretoria. I think Pretoria is the capital of South Africa.
And
yeah.
is his race is European? Do you know anything or not?
No, I don't know anything about.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
The origin of his parents. So, yeah. But I knew he was born in South Africa, and
Perfect.
he grew up in South Africa, then migrated to Canada at the age of 17, and he landed in the United States as a transfer student at the University of Pennsylvania. So he taught himself computer programming, started writing code at the age of 10 years. And I mean, that's really an amazing thing for a 10-year-old to know how to code. He wrote his first own game at the age of 12, I think with his brother, and called the game Blaster. That's a Space Invaders game. I think that is where he got the idea of space tech, and he made his first $500 selling it to a magazine company called PC and Office Technology. So who is Elon Musk? Elon Musk is a visionary genius who changed multiple industries. Like I said, he's really changing the world. You know, whether I would like it or not, he's sometimes when I think about Elon Musk, I call him a little god. So he's the CEO, founder, advisor for so many companies, for some of the world's most high companies that are making impact on the global scale. So he is also co-founder of Zip2. He's a founder of X.com, which we now know as PayPal. So he's also founder, CEO, lead designer of SpaceX, CEO, producer, architect of Tesla Incorporated, co-founder of OpenAI, future of like the guy is just too much. Elon Musk is just too much. He's also the founder of the Boring Company. He's also the founder of the Solar City, Starlink, Hyperloop. Now, I'm going to dive into his success journey, how he started his success journey. Elon Musk dropped out of the Applied Physics and Materials Science program at Stanford University just 2 days after starting his venture. The first company he started was, I think, was Zip2, yeah, with his cousin Kimber Musk. That was in 1999, if I'm not mistaken, a division of Compact Computer Corporation bought um, X.com, which is a PayPal. No, they bought, sorry, I'm mixing it up. They bought Zip2 at the rate of $307 million in cash, and then $38 million in stock options. His next company was PayPal, um, which was started with another visionary entrepreneur, uh, Peter uh, Peter something. I can't remember his last name. Uh, who is an extra? He's also extremely successful venture capitalist, and PayPal had a successful exit and sold to eBay. eBay actually bought it for $1.5 billion. One thing I love about Elon Musk is that he listens to people's idea, and that was how he started PayPal. He listens to people's idea. He leveraged on people's idea before making decision. And this is what makes you a leader. This is what actually makes him a leader. He listens and respects his employers regardless of their position. So he puts everything he owns on the table, and success is the only option for survival for him after the sale of PayPal with all his savings. And he had $180 million. So he channeled 100 million to SpaceX, and then 70 million to Tesla. So the other 10 million to Solar City. So he became, at a point, he had to borrow money to pay his rent. He got to the point where he had no money, so he had to borrow money to pay his rent. Um, so after PayPal, Elon Musk founded his third company, which is a space Exploration Technology Corporation, that's SpaceX, in 2002, with the intention of building space aircraft for commercial use. By 2008, SpaceX was well established, and NASA awarded the contract. NASA awarded a particular contract to them to handle cargo transportation for the International Space Station. So with this plan for um, astronaut transportation in the future, in so his company SpaceX became the first privately funded company to launch a rocket into the orbit. So they actually failed several times before they could get it right. So they bargained 1.6 billion investments from NASA and another $1 billion in funding from Google and Fidelity. So in March 2017, SpaceX was the success. SpaceX saw the success test flights and landing of a Falcon rocket made from reusable parts and a development that opened the door for more affordable space travel. Elon Musk has said that he wants to actually die in Mars, not on Earth. Elon Musk's SpaceX is planning an ambitious mission to Mars with a view to making our lives interplanetary. So he actually wants to die in Mars. So meaning he's actually going to build a mansion in Mars where he's going to live until he dies. So I'm just kidding though. So he has a plan to colonize the planet Mars actually, and his main goal is to drop the cost of traveling to Mars to the lowest, to the minimal price of $100,000. So the current price is around $10 billion as we speak. So SpaceX is now privately valued at I think about $33 billion. And I think his idea is to also is to colonize Mars. Actually, Elon Musk has he said that he wants to die in Mars. Meaning that's all about that. So let's talk about Tesla. He is the founder of Tesla. We all know that the CEO of the architects of Tesla, and it was formed in 2003, if I'm not mistaken, and it's dedicated to producing affordable mass market electric cars as well as battery products and solar roofs. Musk he oversees all the products um, development by himself, engineered and um, designing the company's product. He designed all the product by himself because I mean he knows about all these things right from childhood. So and the Model S has um, the 20 the Model S is the 21st cent. Sorry. So Tesla Model S was the first premium electric car which in the world. The model um, Tesla launched. Sorry, Tesla launched in 2012 was the world's first premium 100% electric vehicle, and autopilot is an advanced driver assistant. It has something like an autopilot, assistant, where you can. I think it works with the GPS where it can drive itself, from one point to the other. And they also have the semi truck, which they call it a Tesla semi, which is designed to save the to save owners at least about $200 over a million's miles based on fuel cost alone. So Elon Musk also provided the initial concept and financial capital for Solar City. I think he out of from when he sold um, PayPal. So I think he devoted like 10 million to SolarCity, and SolarCity was the second largest provider of solar power system in the United States, and SolarCity was also, it was also, like I said, he owned SolarCity, and in 2016, and is currently owned. Yeah, it's currently owned by Elon Musk. That's Tesla himself. So he unveiled a new type of solar panel, and these took like the traditional roof tiles, the roof tiles. I don't know if you have seen the um, how do we call it? Yeah, it's mounted on the roof actually, but have the capacity to capture sunlight and add that to this Tesla power. So, and um, the best thing is that the price for buying these models, I think the Model 3 is cheaper than buying a petrol car and paying for petrol over years. So, and I think people, that's why people are really interested in buying Tesla, because what the amount you will spend um, on a petrol car for over some certain years can actually buy Tesla itself. So, I mean, it's a wise decision. So Marx unveils a concept for a high-speed transportation system, um, incorporated reduced pressure tubes, which pressurize the capsules ride on an air cushion driven by linear induction motors and air compressor. So in January 2017, Box also launched the Boring Company, a company devoted to boring and building an underground net of tunnels in order to reduce the traffic on streets. It began with the test dig on the SpaceX property in Los Angeles, where he lived. He and In 2015, Musk announced the creation of OpenAI, a non-profit artificial intelligence research company. So it aims to develop artificial general intelligence in a way that is safe and beneficial to humanity. By making AI available to everyone, OpenAI wants to counteract large corporations, who may gain too much power by owning super intelligence system devoted to profits, and as well as governments which may use AI to gain power and even um, oppress their citizenry. So in 2016, Musk co-founded Neuralink, a uh, neurotechnology startup company, something like that. So it integrates the human brain with artificial intelligence, combining human brain with artificial intelligence. So the actual purpose of this is um, to help human beings merge with software and keep pace with advance in artificial intelligence. So these enhancements could improve memory or allow more direct interfacing with computing devices. So Musk sees these as related, that's he sees Neuralink and OpenAI as related, and is non-dedicated to minimizing the danger of artificial intelligence. So, and Neuralink is working on ways to implement technology into our brains, like I said. to create mind-computer interface. And he wants to bring the entire world online as well. So that's what he did in 2018. Where I think
Perfect,
I lost
perfect,
it.
perfect. It's one of the best presentation I have heard during the last 2 years, because without no PowerPoint, also, I honestly, I should say to you that if you don't have any PowerPoint, as a lecturer, it is very good. As a presentation, is not so good, because you should know how to use the presentation tools. So one of the first tools you should know as the student, as the manager, as a leader, is how to use the PowerPoint and other instruments you can use for a presentation. But when you use only from your memory, it's perfect. As a lecturer, it's very good. Thank you. I know that you have studied a lot about Elon Musk. Also, it is very good for you. But please prepare yourself for other presentation with your professional tools. It's very important, because you are going to be a master degree of business administration, not only a general student. But as the memory, thank you. It was perfect. It was the best best presentation I have heard from since the last 2 years. Okay, students, go to your exam, and I am here until the 5 minutes if you have any question. And after that, we will see you again the next week, 8th week, and it will be your final week. And please prepare for your final exam, and please send me your final paper at the due date, before the due date, and other things. Any question? Mario, Adnan, Wayne, Yana, dear Henry. Okay, have a good night.
I sent you an email, so
Yeah, yeah.
reply. I'm waiting for the reply.
Henry, I didn't understand what you say.
I said I sent you an email.
Yeah, I will check it. What about? What about?
It's about my I don't know my week. Is it week 5?
Case
Week,
study.
no, week 5 grade.
Same. I got the same problem.
I will check it. I will check it. Yeah. Mario,
No, same as Henry. I
your voice is
emailed you.
interrupted. Mario. Mario, can I hear? Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so I sent you an email, regarding the same as Henry. It's regarding my week 5 learning engagement post. It was not graded.
Okay. Week 5, the due date, the cutoff date, not the due date. The cutoff date for the week 5 is at the end of week 6, which was yesterday. And during this week, it is final. There's no worrying about it. No worrying about your learning engagement. It is my duty to grading everything, and the application shows me which student doesn't have any grade. No worrying about your grading for learning engagement. Focus on your job. Your job is final exam, final paper. Because if I forget something, Moodle shows me that, for example, Mario grading week 2 is not grading. Okay, I will go. So don't worry about your grades for learning engagement. Nothing can be missed. Maybe reduced because of late work policies. It is not important. But don't worry about the learning engagement. Go for your final paper, group case studies, and also final exam. Okay? Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.